welcome to day 2 of TSR's great performances on a budget, celebrating the silver screen soundtracks without spending a lot of silver dollars. And to kick off day 2, well, what the heck am I even saying? There is no possible monologue that I can give you to try and convince you why Twilight isn't actually all that horrible. Yet if you know me, have been a long-time viewer of this channel, you probably know there's no justification whatsoever in reviewing anything Twilight for any price, other than the fact that it has some wicked good music. And I'm not talking about the songs, they're not my taste. No, I'm talking about the underscore. And I don't know which team you're on, Team Edward or Team Jacob. I'm on neither team. I'm on Team Carter, as in the composer for 3 of the 5 Twilight films. The first one and the 2-part finale, Breaking Dawn, of which I have the Part 1 soundtrack on the right and the first film soundtrack on the left, for $1.99 and for $1.69, both composed and conducted by Carter Burwell, who scored 3 of the Twilight films. Howard Shore scored Eclipse, and Alexandra Desplat recorded New Moon. I own that soundtrack with the London Symphony Orchestra, and that will be linked below if you want to check it out. This is a 21-track disc. As always, the running time and additional stats, if applicable, will be in the description below. The disc played smoothly. No audio malfunctions to report. This is the only still, by the way, of Carter Burwell recording with the orchestra at Air Lyndhurst Hall in London. The only behind-the-scenes scoring session still you get in here. You have liner notes about the score, with an additional note about Bella's lullaby, and how that was originally written as a love song for his now-wife, Christine Sciulli, or Sciulli. Carter, get back to me with her correct pronunciation of her last name. A love song for his now-wife, which then turned into Bella's lullaby. And it is in that track where you hear the full, majestic scope of the chamber orchestra here. It's a little more aptly sized than just the regular chamber orchestra. But this, along with the Breaking Dawn Part 2, Part 1 finale, were all recorded in London. To that end, you have a list of London musicians here at acknowledgements. This score is mainly centered on acoustic guitar and piano, with just the right amount of string and woodwind accompaniment from the chamber orchestra to boot, just to make everything breeze along. Breaking Dawn Part 1 is much more majestic and much more grander, and as Carter Burwell says, so appropriately, much more melodramatic. After all, as he says in his liner notes for Breaking Dawn Part 1, how else would you describe a man-wolf and a vampire performing an impromptu C-section on a girl they both love, no one knowing what they're delivering? In the end, a daughter. What age, mate? These are the liner notes. You open up this trifold liner sheet and you have the list of the musicians in London. This was recorded at Abbey Road Studios. The largest orchestra assembled for the Twilight scoring was for Breaking Dawn Part 2. So big that it required the assistance of additional conductor John Ashton Thomas. But this is Breaking Dawn Part 1. A lot more film stills in these notes. I would say in the second half of the soundtrack, it definitely gets more melodramatic. From, let's see, 18 onward. From 18 onward, it definitely incorporates the full orchestra serviceably and admirably. Both soundtracks were distributed in-house by Summit Entertainment Records, with the assistance of Atlantic Releasing Corporation. These two soundtracks have the probability of being in your hearts forever. And as far as the Twilight saga goes as a whole, to quote the late great co-founder of the PBS NewsHour, Jim Lehrer, for Twilight, there will always be a forever. If you don't take my word for it, just ask my Twihard friends Linda Bucky and Shamba Petty. You two know who you are. Thanks for watching and listening. I'll catch you on the flip side.